I got into a discussion recently with a friend about some goings-on in the comic book universe. Some changes that were made to iconic comic book characters. Though he is a casual fan because of the successful movies, he couldn't wrap his head around these changes that were made to the characters. And at the end of the conversation, he says, you know, it's really great having nerds like you around to help me understand these things. I said, well, you know, I'm not really a nerd as much as I'm a geek. He replied back to me very quickly and said, that's the same thing. No, as a matter of fact, no, they are not. I guess you have to look at the common definitions first of a geek and a nerd to really understand what I'm talking about. I think in the classic definition of a geek, this is someone who's unfashionable and socially inept. This definition would be your, short sleeve, button-down shirt, pocket protector, IT guy. If you really want to get classical, there's the turn of the century definition of a geek, which is, the circus performer. The Geeks and the Freaks sort of label that was popular in the 1800s and early 1900s in traveling circuses. That really doesn't apply anymore, unless you're a fan of, American Horror Story. This is the guy that can quote you technical manuals. This is your IT person, the one who engages in computer tasks and tremendous attention to detail. Urban Dictionary says that this is the person you pick on in high school and you end up working for as an adult. Go on to the nerds. Traditional definition is the socially awkward, lacking basic social skills. This is the kid that's never going to ask someone to dance at a party. Someone whose IQ is higher than their weight. And though interestingly in this traditional and classical definition, it crosses over with the geek because it's looked at as being a single-minded expert, in one particular field. And I think that's where my friend is coming from when he looks at it and says that geeks and nerds are the same thing. But frankly, in this new century, those labels, I don't agree with them any longer. Like the ancient proverb says that the meek shall inherit the earth. Frankly, I think at this point, the geeks and nerds have inherited the earth. Popular culture is dominated in a lot of sectors by geeky and nerdy stuff, which makes old geeks like me very happy. But here's my definition of how those terms differ from each other. I'll start with the nerd. The nerd loves the thing. Whether that thing is a comic book, a science fiction movie, actual book, or a book series. Maybe it's even a TV show. There's fandoms. But the nerd's heart is totally dedicated to almost the worship of this particular thing that they love, right? The nerd has really seen a big evolution in their persona over the last decade or so. The nerd has shed a lot of the socially awkward labeling that was indicative of maybe the 70s and 80s. So what about the geek? As much as the nerd has seen a huge evolution in their social profile, the geek, in my opinion, has really come of age. I think that the geek is really held on to and just sort of redefined some of the old stereotypes. So they still maintain a love and an appreciation of the thing, again, whether that thing is something wholly technical or science fiction properties, comic books, book series, all of it, popular culture. But the difference for me is, I think that the geek is the one that knows everything about the thing. Whether that's, in-depth background stories, they've researched the history of the thing, they know all of the nuances. If a book is adapted into a movie, the geek is the one that's going to know all of the minor continuity slip-ups and changes. The old definition has the geek being super focused on technical detail. Well, I think that's still true. Maybe I'm mincing words. Maybe I'm making a bigger deal out of it than it is. But when my friend said that geeks and nerds are the same things, it really did strike a chord with me. Because again, the nerd loves the thing. The geek knows everything about the thing. But what do you think? Which faction do you align yourself with? Are you a geek? Are you a nerd? Are you a jock? Do you agree with my breakdown of these two different social types? Or am I completely off base? Tell me what you think. Post it in the comments. Jump into the discussion on Facebook and Twitter with us. The links are in the description below. Thanks for watching and for riding along with me today as I work through my own hang-ups over terms and definitions. If you enjoyed this, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, share the video with your friends. Ask them if they think you're a geek or a nerd. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you on the road.